night they came. Colorado's Wild Boar Crisis. They came out of nowhere. First, just whispers in the forest, shadows moving through the pines, the soft crunch of hooves in the frost. Then came the screams of livestock, the splintered fences, the fields turned to ruin overnight. In Colorado, what began as a few scattered sightings has become something far darker. Wild boars. Once an imported curiosity, now an unstoppable force rewriting the balance of the wild. They breed faster than any native predator can hunt them. They tear up the soil, devour crops, and move under the cover of night like ghosts of destruction. And when you hear them coming, it's already too late. This isn't a story about hunting for sport. This is a story about survival. The invasion. It started in the foothills outside Pueblo. Farmers began noticing strange tracks pressed into the mud. Wide cloven prints too deep for deer. Cornfields shredded. Ground torn up like it had been plowed overnight. At first, people laughed. Boars in Colorado? Impossible, they said. Those belong in the South. Texas, Louisiana, maybe Florida. Not here. But then came the photos. Dozens of them. Game cameras capturing hulking shapes under the moonlight. Long tusks. Bristled backs. Dozens moving together like a small army. The Department of Wildlife confirmed the truth. Wild boars had arrived, and they weren't going anywhere. By the time officials reacted, it was too late. They'd spread across 5 counties in under a year, each sow producing up to 20 offspring annually. Do the math. 1 becomes 10, 10 become 100, 100 become thousands. And in Colorado's endless forests and farmlands, they found paradise. The first hunts. When the first coordinated hunt began, it wasn't for sport, it was necessity. Farmers and local hunters gathered before dawn, rifles slung over shoulders, faces grim. No one spoke much. The smell of gun oil and dust hung heavy in the air. Each man knew what was at stake. The boars had destroyed fences, devoured feed, and even attacked a farmer's dog. Children weren't allowed outside after dark. They moved in small teams, using night vision scopes and thermal imagers. Because the enemy came when the world slept. At 2:14 a.m., the first heat signature appeared on the screen, a massive silhouette moving across a soybean field. A signal was given, safety off, breath held, one shot cracked the still night. The beast dropped instantly, 260 pounds of muscle and rage silenced in a second. But that sound was enough. From the tree line, the forest exploded. 10 more erupted into the open, squealing, crashing through brush, charging toward the lights. When the smoke cleared, the team realized the scale of what they were facing. For everyone they killed, 10 more would return. The hidden war. Weeks turned into months. Reports flooded in from across the state. Highways blocked by herds, irrigation systems destroyed, even mountain lions driven from their territories. In one chilling incident near Fort Carson, a wild boar smashed through a family's sliding door and rampaged through their kitchen before being cornered by deputies. Colorado was under siege, not by wolves, not by drought, but by feral swine. The government launched the Wild Boar Eradication Program, but containment proved nearly impossible. These animals are intelligent, they learn. If one of them is trapped, the others never enter the same cage again. Infrared drones track their movement, night migrations through valleys, around farms, sometimes even across frozen rivers. Each step brought them closer to the next unsuspecting community. Hunters began calling it the Silent War. Because most of it happens where no one sees. Deep in the woods, under moonlight, when the world is quiet and you're alone. The night operation. It was 11:47 p.m. when the team gathered near the tree line. A full moon bathed the valley in silver light. The dogs were restless, their ears twitching toward the dark. The plan was simple: Drive the herd toward the open field where the others waited in ambush. Stay sharp, said the lead hunter, checking his scope one last time. They advanced slowly, step by step, rifles raised. Suddenly from the brush ahead, a guttural roar, then movement, fast, heavy. A massive boar burst through the thicket, tusks gleaming, eyes red in the night vision glow. It wasn't running away, it was charging. The first bullet grazed its shoulder, the second missed entirely, the third found its mark, and the creature dropped mid-charge, sliding to a stop mere feet away. Its tusks were long enough to tear through a truck tire. Its hide was so thick that half the bullets barely penetrated. For a moment, silence. Then from behind, more movement. A whole herd was coming. What followed was pure chaos. The ground shook beneath dozens of hooves. Hunters yelled orders. Dogs lunged. Flashlights swept through the dark. When it was over, 5 animals lay still. The rest vanished into the night. Everyone stood breathing hard, faces pale with adrenaline. They'd won the battle, but not the war. The aftermath. By dawn, the field was littered with churned soil and broken stalks. A grim silence hung over the valley. The men loaded the fallen animals onto flatbeds, their bodies enormous, their hides caked with mud. "This isn't hunting," one of them muttered. "This is cleanup." He was right. Experts estimate wild boars cause over $2.5 billion in agricultural damage across the U.S. every year. In Colorado alone, the number is climbing rapidly. They uproot native plants, eat bird eggs, destroy irrigation systems, even pollute rivers with their waste. Each night they move further north, adapting to colder climates no one thought they could survive in. And the frightening part? No natural predator is strong enough to stop them. Lessons from the wild. Through it all, something strange has happened. A bond, not between man and boar, but between those who fight to protect their land. Old farmers, young hunters, even wildlife biologists, united by one mission: restore balance. They use drones, GPS collars, and thermal imaging to track herds. Some have started breeding trained dogs specifically for boar pursuit. Others experiment with bait traps, electric fences, and even sound deterrents mimicking predator calls. But still, the boars adapt. Smarter, faster, almost as if nature itself refuses to yield. In one recent operation near the Arkansas River, hunters tracked a massive sow, the matriarch of a 30-strong herd. They followed her trail for 2 days through snow and mud before finally cornering her at dawn. The shot was clean. The silence afterward was deafening. For a brief moment, it felt like victory. But they all knew. By spring, her offspring would already be breeding. The encroaching future. Colorado is changing. Forests that once echoed with birdsong now carry the distant rumble of hooves. People are adapting too, reinforcing fences, installing night cameras, keeping rifles closer to the door. In some places, boars roam so freely they become part of local lore. The black ghosts of the Rockies. But to those who've seen the damage firsthand, there's nothing mythical about them. These creatures are evolution's survivors, intelligent, adaptable, relentless. And every night they move silently, reclaiming land once thought safe for humans. One thing is clear: if we don't act, they'll own the wilderness and everything beyond it. The final stand. It's midnight again. The hunters return to the same field, this time with infrared drones overhead and spotlights scanning the horizon. The radio crackles. Movement! 300 yards west. They move fast. The dogs sprint ahead, noses to the ground. Suddenly, there they are. A full herd feeding under the moonlight. No hesitation, no warning. The valley erupts in light and sound. Muzzle flashes slicing through the dark, gunfire echoing across the plains. Boars scatter, crashing into the trees. The ground trembles like thunder. By the time it's over, the team stands amid silence once more. 10 bodies lie still. Dozens more have escaped. But tonight the crops are safe, for now. They say nature always finds a way, but sometimes nature's way means fighting back. Claw for claw, tooth for tooth. The Wild Boar Crisis in Colorado isn't just a story about animals. It's a warning of how fast the balance can shift when the wild pushes back. If you've watched this far, you're part of this story too. Every view, every share, every voice helps bring awareness to what's happening right now. Not on another continent, but right here in our backyards. So do one thing for me. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Tell us if wild boars are being seen in your region, what your community is doing, or what you'd do if they showed up near your home. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Because the more support this series gets, the more we can travel, film, and bring you the real stories from the front lines, from the hunters, the farmers, and the people defending their land. Together, we'll keep telling their stories. Together, we'll face what's coming. The night may be quiet now, but out there, they're still moving.
I'm a bunch of warfarin. This is how you kill pigs. There you go. I was shooting so fast that he couldn't keep up loading. So I would drop them in 1, 2 at a time. Pow, pow. One more, pow. Until he got that one loaded and handed it over. Wow. Not one jam. Not one problem. He kept handing me a shotgun. Come in, John Johnson. Slow down. Got him. Down. These things are working like a well-oiled machine, and it's really sad for the pigs. There's carnage all in this field. They're everywhere. It's fine. Warfarin takes 2 weeks. We took 2 minutes. Yeah. Gets an 11. Time for flight number 2 and the AR.